A British manufacturer has come up with what appears to be a sound solution.
The monotony of mass production factory work is becoming a major industrial problem. Endless repetition makes it difficult to stand the unrelenting sameness of a long working day. This biscuit factory in West London found it was losing staff at the rate of 80% each year. As a result of the boredom of simple, repetitive work, the management were faced with costly and difficult recruitment problems. Then, 2.5 years ago, the biscuit company began an experiment. They installed 500 loudspeakers in just one of their 12 factories. They ran cables from these speakers to a central room, and inside they installed a record player. They hired DJs to link the records together, and they even recruited a team of journalists to read out news on the hour, every hour.
Just after 3 o'clock, Patricia Dene reporting. The finance ministers of the common market countries plan to meet in Brussels on Sunday to try and find a long-term solution to the latest dollar crisis, which has paralyzed the world.
What they had was a private radio station. There was about one speaker for every 2 workers, and although it could be turned down, it couldn't be turned off.
Makes you feel happy all over, doesn't he? Johnny Nash, his singing's pretty good as well, you know. Back to 1968. That's the vintage for that one. Johnny Nash and Hold Me Tight, and now we've got Herman's Hermits.
Which singers got the airtime wasn't left up to the disc jockeys. The music was always chosen as a result of a continuous market research exercise. The management wanted to know what sort of programs workers liked hearing, so they installed suggestion boxes to receive program ideas and requests for songs.
Moving on to Harlesden, we've got Mary, who works on line 31 down there, and one for the digestive creams. In fact, all the afternoon part-timers on the digestive creams, one for you in Manchester, and finally for Jimmy Richards and Winnie Marshall, who are getting engaged, and they work on the chocolate fingers. Wednesday just don't go, Thursday goes too slow,
But staff turnover resulting from boredom wasn't the only reason for the experiment. The management wanted to see if they could use the station to influence the behavior of their workforce. In biscuit factories, hygiene is of great importance. It's in the company's interest to prevent biscuits becoming contaminated by harmful bacteria. So the station became something like a commercial radio network, broadcasting not just music, but also advertisements, such as the one being made by these commercial disc jockeys.
Meanwhile, back in the good old days...
We will now say grace. Emily?
Yes, Papa?
Let me see your hands.
Yes, Papa?
Emily, your hands are filthy, your nails are dirty. Emily, I've told you about this before. Hamish, get my riding crop.
Times have changed since then. Now we live in an enlightened time where hygiene is taken for granted. So remember the simple rule, wash your hands before handling food. You and everyone else will feel much better for it.
Hygienic but slippery polished floors created a safety problem. So the network made commercials about safety.
Safety shoes. Go down to personnel and get yourself a pair. Then you cross slippery floors and never have to care.
Have an accident?
Oh, no, thanks. I've just had one.
Workers in Liverpool are the first to benefit from the London experiment. Their factories just had the system installed, taking the programs from London by landline. So the network made a short radio documentary exploring the workers' reactions to the intrusion of private radio into their working lives.
Very good idea. You like it?
I do.
I've worked here 12 years and I think it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh, I think it's lovely. I like the requests.
Our particular section on the crumble and custard sent about 10 in and we've only had 1 plate.
Oh, it's great. Really great.
I'd like to hear the time not being relayed so often. Because when you work in a factory, you know, it tends to make it drag.
I had the music to listen to and I didn't feel as though I was on my own, you know, as the company.
I'd have been bored to tears, you know, really fed up. But that particular night, didn't want anybody to talk to me, you know, just listening to me country western.
The company owns 12 factories and wants to use the network to link production lines in one part of the country to those in another. by encouraging requests and publicising inter-factory social activities. The management hoped that this will get workers to feel they're part of one community. Now, the first results of the London experiment have become available. They found that in 2 years of continuous transmission, 24 hours a day over 3 shifts, the factory started winning prizes for its safety record. What's more, there was a drop in staff turnover from 80 down to 28% per year. This was a cue to the management. They expanded their network not just to Liverpool, but also to Manchester and Glasgow, increasing their captive audience by 400%. The only major difference from London will be that the new speakers can be turned right off.
Mark Bolan goes boogie woogie and the Woodland Rock. And I'll tell you what, as we've already told you, Sandy Ginger Nuts in Harlesden is leaving today. And shedding a little tear is Anne, who works on Harlesden line number 26 and says, how about a David Cassidy oldie for her? Well, we've got more than David. The Partridge Family and David mean... Back to 1970, a couple of years ago, the Partridge Family, and I think...
While its potential for persuasion could make it dangerous, on the surface, it's a powerful tool for generating hygiene, safety, and short-term happiness.
UBN 24. In the United States of America, you can listen to at least half a dozen 24-hour music stations in every town.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Robert W. Morgan Show from the Much More Music Station.
KHJ Los Angeles.
It's 8:30 in Los Angeles.
The name game.
Danny and the Juniors at the Hop. We'll get back to the Silver Dollar Survey on wonderful WIL Radio in just a minute.
You're hearing things.
You're hearing things.
On WMEX 1510.
8:35 at Boss Radio.
However, in this country, there is only one 24-hour music station.
Super Sound UBN. Zap it on me, baby.
Zap!
This has been UB Network News. News by all means with Paul Ingram's reporting. Just ahead of continuing Super Sounds on the Adrian Love Show from...
The home of good baking, Super Sound UBN.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Paul Ingrams, for the 9:30 summary. Good morning, everybody. Chris Grant here up until 10 o'clock on the Adrian Love Breakfast Show. Stand by for Super Sound number 35.
Cheers began to pile. The writing's on the wall. Whoa, 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 the tears began to fall.
There you go, that's the sound of Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, number 35 in the 540, and a song entitled Tears Began to Fall. Right now, we've got 26 minutes now before the hour of 10 o'clock. And calling up Claire on line number 24 in Harlesden. That record went out to you from Brett at Harlesden in the machine room. He said, please tell Claire I love her and I'm going to marry her someday. Isn't that nice? Morning to you both.
Super Sound UBN spells happiness.
Always happy to be of service, we are. This record's for Tony Jones, wishing him a very happy birthday. Up and coming, we've got Dawn now, number 7.
I hear some people get married in the park on a Sunday afternoon.
The sound of Dawn there, and what are you doing Sunday? Number 7 in the Fab 40. Hey, you enjoying the programme thus far? Good morning to Osterley and Harlesden factories. Chris Grant here up until 10 o'clock with the news at 10 with Paul Ingrams.
Anytime is a good time on Super Sound UBN.
Anytime is a good time to hear from the Beatles in my book. Do you remember this one going way back to 1964?
Can buy me love, love, buy me love.
Going way back to 1964, there you go, that's the sound of the Beatles, Can't Buy Me Love. Good morning to you, Chris Grant here on the Adrian Love Show, up until 10 o'clock. Remember, at 2 minutes past 10, we've got Mr. Graham Dean. Hi, Harlesden and Osterley. Morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Everything looks good when you start your day here with Super Sound UBN.
Greetings and welcome to you, and welcome along to our own special programmes. It's a Solid Gold Friday on the network, and Pete Young and I on the special programmes from this week on are going to be doing something slightly different.
Let's hark back to the days of July 5 years ago, and we're taking our chart from the week ending the 30th of July. Do you remember 1968? There was a Labour government in power. Harold Wilson was the Prime Minister, and Lyndon Johnson was in the White House. But over here, this was number 20.
In the week ending Friday, the 30th of July, 1968, that record was number 20, Loving Things from the Marmalade. And at number 19, there was a singer-song... Oh, fuck. Right, shh.
You don't want my mic?
No, I don't. And at number 19, there was a busker turned songwriter and singer. His name was Don Partridge. This was the record at 19, Blue Eyes.
That was Don Partridge there, from July of 1968, and a song called Blue Eyes. UBN 24. I say, did you know that UBN is still Britain's only 24-hour music station?
Oh, darling, that's wonderful.
Take 83.
24-hour UBN, the station that puts you in the mood for... Shh, you know what.